China, 1932. A foreign power occupies the northeast region. During this unsettling occupation, a state is established, Manchukuo. As tensions run high, the new government disarms its people and condemns assembly as intent to undermine the state. In this troubled time, you are a respected teacher, leader, and martial arts master. Under the watchful eye of the occupying garrison, you must carefully lead your students to help your community. Continue to secretly practice your style and gain prominence for your school. Manchukuo is a layered worker placement game for 2 to 4 players, played over a series of 5 rounds. At the end of the 5th round, the player with the most prominent style wins. Each round begins with a day phase. During your turn, you will choose a single location in town and assign any number of your students there. Here, Ming assigns 2 swift students and 1 strong student to his school space on the factory. Since Ming assigned more than 1 swift student with this action, he may immediately gain the bonus action shown on his matching swift disciple card. He gains 1 wisdom. Ming then takes the main action at the location, using the labor he assigned to the task. Since Ming has assigned 3 students here, his labor value is 3, and this allows him to gather 4 tools. Next, Kate sends her students to the commons to help a family that was displaced by the conflict. However, with the patrol nearby, Kate's students may need to exercise a bit of extra caution. She pays 2 wisdom to avoid the patrol's attention. If she hadn't, she would have gained suspicion, which would eventually become more restriction cards. At the commons, labor value can be divided among the family cards, allowing her to aid both the Lu and Kwong families. She gains prominence, and those families share their wisdom and offerings with her. Then, since it will be some time before those families need help again, they are moved to the bottom of their respective stacks. Coming back to Ming, he would like to assign his students to the commons as well, but the garrison may be watching too closely. Restriction cards represent the garrison limiting your students' movements around the city and serve as modular worker placement rules that apply only to you. To assign there, he will first need coins to pay the bribe, so he instead spends his turn sending students to the bank. For assigning more than 1 clever student with his action, Ming gains a bonus coin and wisdom. In need of food, Kate assigns her workers to the fields. Instead of gaining her disciple bonus, Kate chooses to spend 1 wisdom to increase her labor value. By working smart, not hard, she yields a larger amount. With his coins now in hand, Ming is ready to return to the commons. He pays the bribe to ignore his restriction for this turn only, resolving his action as normal. However, since he did not spend wisdom to avoid the patrol, he immediately gains 2 suspicion. The day phase continues until all players have assigned all of their workers to the board. As soon as a player assigns their last student, they will choose one of the items from the town square, either the first player marker or one of the randomly drawn students. At this point, the night phase begins. First, the patrol moves to the location where the most students were present in preparation for the coming day. Next, players will recruit new students from the board. At the factory, Ming has the most students. He will recruit all of the students from this location's residence and then move the students he assigned into that residence, effectively swapping them. All other players take the students they had assigned to the factory and return them to their respective schools. This process is repeated for each location. If 2 or more players are tied for most students at a location, then no player recruits there, and all students simply return home. Next, players will simultaneously feed and train with their students. Call your current class of students to line up in your school, and check your board to see what you must pay and gain. Kate has recruited with caution this round and maintained a tight group of students. She spends the 2 food to feed them, and then gains the bonus wisdom. Meanwhile, Ming has been more reckless with his recruitment and must pay 4 food. Also, his class is large enough to have attracted the attention of the garrison, and he gains 3 suspicion. This suspicion causes Ming to draw a new restriction card. When assigning students, he must obey all of his restrictions. Finally, it is time to train. Since Kate has more strong students than her strong disciple's current skill level, her disciple may level up. She rotates it, revealing a new and more powerful bonus ability that she will receive every time she assigns 2 or more students of that type. While she would not normally have enough students to level her swift disciple up, she may treat the exposed trainers on her school board as though each one was a student of any one type. Ming may not have been very cautious, but it could pay off during training. With 5 clever students, he is able to promote his clever disciple into a new master, granting him a one-time chance to send some of his students away to help open a new school. He sends away 3 of his students, which grants him prominence immediately. With that, the round is over, and a new one begins. After the 5th and final round, players will earn prominence for their leftover resources, for certain buildings that they had helped repair around town, and for the skill level of their disciples and masters. Be careful with your suspicion. Restrictions will decrease your prominence. While you are all faced with the same challenges, only one school emerges on the other side of the occupation as the most prominent. Will it be yours?